Hello, welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations of Clay. My name is Louis Palladini and today I'd like to make a prehistoric whale. It's called a Livyatan. And a very interesting whale. It has, it lived the same time as Megalodon, but it's a cousin to the sperm whale. And what's interesting about this whale is it had teeth in both the upper and the lower jaw. As you can see right here, lots of teeth. He's very prehistoric looking. And I'm going to show you how to make that from start to finish today. The types of clay that you can use are this oil-based clay right here, which I used to use all the time as a kid. And what I loved about this is once I got bored with it, I just roll it up into a ball and make it into something else. There's also an air hardening clay, such as this, which hardens in a couple of hours or overnight. And what I like about this is once it hardens, you can paint it. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be baked in the oven about 15 to 20 minutes, and it becomes hard once you bake it in the oven. But what's great about this is it will never harden until you actually fire it in the oven. I will show you the size balls of clay we're going to be using today. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering tin foil. So the tin foil, I have some tin foil right here, and we're going to be making the basic shape of the whale. So we're going to be making this area right here. We're going to be making the body there. So what I want to do is you're going to take, I'll just kind of show you a little bit. We're going to take the tin foil and you'll start to crinkle it up. And what you're going to do as you crinkle it up, you're going to build it into this shape right here. And this is going to make the shape of the body, which is what I just told you right here. And that way when we cover it with the clay, we're not using all the clay and there's nothing in the center there. But we'll also do a base, and you're going to crinkle up this, create a base, and it's going to be in this shape right here. But what I did is I didn't cover it completely because I want to show you we are going to use clay balls, which I have over here, and we're going to cover it. But then we're going to also use these clay balls here. There's some here for the tail, and then some here for the fins, and there's one here for the mouth. But the first thing that we'll do is I want to cover the base. So I'm going to take these balls of clay here that I have right here, and I'm going to put this aside now. We don't need this at the moment now. And I'm going to take and finish covering this. So what I do is take these clay balls, and you see how I flatten this out? Like this. And then I put it over like this. And then I work it together with the other clay that I already have on there. So basically, you're just building it up around the tin foil. And we're going to take that. And just cover that up nicely. See how I'm doing that? Pushing that in there. And then, I think we just got a few more spots we got to cover. Yep, right down here. So I'm taking this, flattening this out like that. See that? And then you press it up against the base like this. And that's creating, it's going to be a nice water base. So we got that. Let me see if I missed any spots. So I just work the clay in like that. And I just want to kind of work that all together. Make sure it's done. And that looks like, let's see, yep, that's done. See how we did that? So you just kind of build the base like that. See now you got all the tin foil under there? And what we're going to do is we're going to make that look like water. So I did crinkle up some tin foil over here and I put it on the side. And you're just going to take, and we're going to just kind of make little waves on there like that. See that? Just see I'm just rotating like a little bit and just making like little lines on there. And we're going to make that all the way around the base like that. give it some really nice texture because I want it to look like water. See that? Looks good. See that? I'll go around the edges. I want to make sure that we didn't miss any spots. See how we did that? So I made it look like water. Pretty cool. So now that that's completed, we're going to finish making the body of the whale. And what we're going to do is, what I had started to do is you wrap pieces of clay around that tin foil that I had shown you here. You start putting clay around that. So you would take a clay ball, flatten it out just like the other one. See, like this here. And you just place it on here and you keep wrapping around until you've covered the entire thing. And I did start the process with this, so I covered almost all of it. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish up the process. So we see how I take these balls of clay and I put them on the whale itself, right there. And then we're going to take, I like to roll it in my hand. That makes it soft and pliable. So we're going to take, and I cover that over. See that? So we got that. And then we're going to do the other side over here. I'll flatten that out nicely. Like that. And then we'll cover that over right there. See that? And then we got one more spot to cover. I'm going to roll that. Make it nice and warm, that way I can just put it right on top. And then we put that right on top to cover up the rest of the tin foil. And it appears to be one other spot underneath. And we'll cover that up there. See how we did that? And I see one more spot that I want to definitely cover up right here. So now, as you can see, I've covered almost everything. See, we've covered that up. I'll rotate it around so you can see it. So we've got that. So everything's done. So now the next thing that we want to do is we want to kind of work on the shape a little bit. So what I'm going to do is kind of make this a little narrower up here. And then I'm going to smooth some of these places over up here. Just take my thumb, kind of smooth that clay over like that. And you're going to do that around here also. That way we can get the shape. So then I'm taking my fingers, my thumb, just kind of go over it like that. And we'll go all around the whale like that. I want to smooth it out nicely. So what I'm going to do is now that I've done that, I'm going to see if I can compare it to my model right here. It's approximately the same size, which is good. So just kind of making that look good. I'm kind of squeezing, taking my hand and wrapping it around this to maybe make it a little narrower. And then what I'm going to also do is, see how I'm pinching this area here? I'm pinching this area here to kind of build it up a little bit. See that? That's what it looks like from the side. That's what it looks like from the top. So just kind of pinch it a little bit here. And we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. So pinch this a little bit like this. See that? That little area there, just kind of pinch it. Just like that. And that's starting to, so you can see that it's really starting to take shape. It's starting to look like the Livyatan, as they call it. And I'm going to work on doing the mouth. I want to see how long did I do that? Yep, about right there. So now, the top part of the mouth, I'm kind of taking my thumb and doing indentation like this. See that? I want to make a nice little indentation like that. See that? Push that in like that. See that? I'll kind of rotate it around so you can see it. Because that's going to be the upper part of the jaw. And then, what I also want to do is I have another ball of clay here, which I made for the lower jaw. And I'll show you the shape that we're going to make for the lower jaw. I'm going to take so we're going to think of an upside down U right now. Just like that. And now, see that? So this is going to be the underside. So what I'm doing is just kind of curving that a little bit. See, just taking my fingers and just doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it against this one. Yeah, it's approximately the right size. So what I'm going to do is this here, I'm going to try to make it a little flatter like that. See that? You go like that. And then I'm going to see if I can put that near. I want to make this a little bit bigger. Now, so we approximately have the right size for the jaw right there. I'm going to move this a little bit further back, I think. Yeah, that's going to work for us now. See how I got that? I just wanted to make sure I got that ready for that right there. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to work on making the tail flukes. And the tail flukes, this is actually the tail, but these are called flukes. They almost look like the flattened flippers for the tail. And I'm going to take these and we're going to make a couple of, I got the 2 balls for those right here. and I'll show you the shape we're going to make. You're going to take this, flatten it out like this. Just like that. Flatten it. But now, see how what I'm doing my finger on my thumb? That's the shape that you want to create. It almost looks like a shark fin or something. See that? You take your fingers and go along the side like that. And then we want to flatten that out nicely, like that. See that? And what we're going to do is I'm going to make the second one. So we're going to take this, flatten it like this, just like that. And then you want to take and kind of create almost like a fin-like shape. Like that. Look at that. Coming along nicely. I want to see if it compares to this one. They're about the same size, which is good. That's good enough right now. And just want to make sure I kind of flatten this out a little bit, so I'm tapping this. And I'll do the same thing for this one. Yeah, they look good. The next thing that we want to do, we've got those made. We're going to make the flippers, and the flippers are these are the flippers that are on its side right here. See that right there? So far what we've made the bottom of the mouth here, in the mouth. We made the tail flukes right there, and these are the flippers that we're going to make right now. See how I'm touching that right there? And that's what we're currently making. So we're going to take this, and we're going to flatten this out, like that. But then you kind of want to round this a little bit like that. See how we're doing that? You want to round, and then take your fingers and kind of go like that. Finger and thumb and go around like that to create that shape there. And we're going to do the same thing. On this one. So you take that, see, go around like that with your finger and your thumb. And it's approximately the right size. So now we've got those made. So we've got the tail, we've got the two flippers, and we've got the mouth here. One of the next things I want to do for the mouth is I want to make a tongue. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, we're going to get a ball of clay here. I'm going to take this off and create my own little ball of clay. And I'm going to see if this is the right size. So ball of clay will be approximately this size right here. See that? You see that in between my fingers? We're going to take and we're going to start to flatten that out a little bit. So flatten out, and then we're going to create the shape of the tongue. So think of an upside down U again. I want to make sure that it's doing this right. We'll make that a little narrower there. Like that. So what we're going to do. We've done that. One of the things I want to do before we actually put the tongue in the mouth is take this and kind of like make little lines in here for the bottom of the mouth. See that? Just like that. And then we'll do the same on the other side. See that? That way it'll make it look somewhat real. Got that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the mouth here. See that? We'll take and do that. This is the upper part of the mouth on the whale. So this is the prehistoric whale. We got that. Just kind of make little lines like that. Just like that. It'll add some realism by doing that. So just want to make sure. We got that. So now the next step is we're going to take this tongue and put it in the mouth on the bottom part of the jaw. So I'm going to take this and put it like right here. And we're going to take, and I'm going to kind of work that in like that. But I'm going to push down on that. See that? And then we're going to take, and I'm going to go down the center of that with a line. So now the next step that we're going to take is we'll take a little tin foil. I want to create a little texture for the tongue. So I'm going to take that and kind of dab this with the tin foil. Dab it along the sides too. Dab that kind of like in the center too when we made the, see that? Gives it a really nice texture. The next thing that we want to do is we want to create some teeth. So I'm going to take what we'll end up doing. You probably have maybe anywhere from 20 to 22 teeth. I'll show you how to put a couple of them in and how to make them, because it's a very time-consuming process, but I just want to make sure you see how I do it. That way you can do it also. I also want to take these here, and when you want to make holes for the teeth. This got a little round ball on the end of it. And what I'm going to do is go like this. See this? So I make holes for the teeth where I'm going to put them. And I'm going to go all the way around the mouth like that. I'll just go up this side and I'll show you how. And you're going to do the same on the other side. But what we're going to do is we're going to take and make some really small balls of clay. I'll just show you maybe 2 or 3 that way. You can see how small they are. Pretty tiny. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, and I'm going to take these, roll them into the shape of an ice cream cone between your fingers. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take and insert it one of those holes, and then you're going to take this right here and work this in like this. See that? How I did that? You just take very, very gently, push that down and make sure it's firmly attached. And then we'll do another one. Upside down ice cream cone on a very, very small scale. And I put it into the next hole right beside it. And then I do that. See that? Let's see, I'll try to do a contrast with my, can you see a little better with yeah, see how the 2 teeth, they're kind of small, they're right up there. So I just wanted to let you see what those look like. The next thing that we want to do, so what you're going to do is you're going to put teeth like that on the bottom jaw here, and then I'll show you, we'll end up putting, we'll do the same thing here, we'll make the holes up here. You do like that. You go all the way around like that. See that? I'm doing it really quickly. This way you'll know where to put the teeth. I'm going to roll this one in between my fingers, and I'll put it right in here. And you just work that in a little bit with a tool. See that? You can see it's pretty small up there. So what you're going to do is you're going to do that all the way around the mouth on both sides, like that. And what I'm going to do now is I'll show you. We're going to take, we have some wire here, because I like to use this wire to attach things because sometimes it gives a little more strength. I'm going to take and cut a little piece off here, like this. We're going to take, I'll put that in the lower jaw like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the piece here. Let me see, before I do that, I want to create at least a hole here for it. Yeah. I put that in there, and then I'll push that in like that. See this? And then take and work the clay on both sides like this. See that? Because you want to make sure it's firmly attached. See that? And take your finger and just go like that. And that way it will hold it all together. The next thing that we want to do is, he's really starting to take shape now, is we want to put on the tail flukes. So what I'm going to do is take this, and we just put those in there like that. Push them in. And then just kind of work this. Take your fingers and kind of attach it very firmly like that. See how I'm doing that? And we're going to take and do the same thing on the other side. Push that in like that. And work it from both sides. See that? Pretty cool. And you're really starting to see it's really starting to come into shape. The next thing that I want to do is we want to attach the flippers. So we're going to get a couple of more pieces of this wire here. So I cut that, and then I'm going to cut this into 2 pieces. Put that on the table. And now what I'm going to do is put one piece in like that. See how I did that? And then we're going to take, I want to see roughly where I put it in on this one. So I'm going to roughly put it right there. See that? And then we take and you push it in a little bit, and you kind of work the clay together like that on both sides. Now you got that. The next thing that we want to do is we'll take the other flipper. I'll put this piece in right here. Push that in like that. See how I did that? You can see that. And then we're going to take and I'm going to push it in right about here. See how I did that? And then you kind of work this like this. And then we want to build up the eye area. So what I'm going to do is take a ball of clay about this size. I wonder if it's the right size though. Let me see. I'm going to take a little bit off this. And I'll hold this in my palm of my hand. That's the size you want. We're going to make 2 of those. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take and kind of push that down a little bit on the side here. See that? Because you want it slightly raised. I'm just going to go around, kind of attach that like that. And then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Make sure I have it on the exact side. What I try to do is when I try to measure, make sure that they're in the same spot. And then I'll put that there. There. He's really starting to take shape now. It's amazing how a few quick little steps we created. See how we get the tail, the flippers, that. The next thing that we want to do is I want to kind of create the eye area. So I'm going to take and just kind of put that in there like that. See that? Then we'll take and do the same thing on the other side. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take some little balls of clay. And I'll show you, very small. They're going to be very, very small. Put them in the palm of my hand so you can see them. See those? Those are going to be the eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably widen this a little bit more on the whale. And then what I want to do is I want to put this in here, right in the hole. And then we'll do the same to the other side. Let me widen this up a little bit. But you know what? I can see right now that I want to take a little bit more clay off this using the subtractive technique. And now I'm going to put that in there. And the next thing you want to do is we'll take little pieces of clay. We want to create eyelids. So think of like a little banana. I took a little piece of clay like this. Think of a little banana. We're going to go over the eye like that. And I put that over the eye like that. And then we'll do another upside down banana, but that's going to be on the bottom part. So you got that. Then we'll place that right. See how we did the eye there? Pretty cool, huh? And we're going to do the same for the other side. Upside down, or the banana. That's the easiest way I can use to describe it for the eyelid. Create that banana. Then put where you put that little ball of clay for the eye. Put that right over there like that. And then we'll take and we'll do the same thing for the bottom part of the eye. Take that upside down banana. Create that a little bit. And I'll place that right on there. See how we just did that? Pretty cool. And then another thing that we want to do also at this point is we need to make the blowhole on top of the head. So what I'm going to do is just just do something like that. For our prehistoric whale. And then, now that we've got that done, I do want to take and get a couple more pieces of clay here. I'll show you what we're going to do. See, we got this size balls right here. See that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and kind of lengthen these out a little bit. And I'll put a couple of strips of clay like this. Put it up here on the top of the head. I'll show you right there. And then we're going to do the same thing for the bottom part. So I'm lengthening this piece of clay out. and then putting it right there. See that? And then we'll do the same for the other side. And I'll look. I want to make sure it's in the same spot. Yep, right there. So I'm putting it right along there. And then we'll do the same thing on the bottom here. And we've got that. Then one of the things we're going to do to create some texture for the whale is, but before I do that, I do want to do one thing for the top part of the tail before we create that texture. So remember how we were pinching this here? I want to take this and just take this tool and kind of go like that. See, like that? And we did that. And then the next thing that we want to do is I'm going to create texture on the whale. So you're going to take this, let me get our tin foil, I think this might be a little better, and kind of push down like that. See that, the tin foil? Just take and push down like that. We're going to go all over the whale like that. I want it to give it a very prehistoric look to it. So see how we're doing that? And you're going to do that, and then like on the fins here, just kind of touch it a little bit, tap it like that. But put your finger under it, because that way you don't destroy what you've done with the other one. And you take and do this, and you're going to do that on both sides, but then you're going to do this here too. See this? And then when you get to the tail flukes, which are, whoop, almost slipped out of my hand. You're gonna, just scratch this a little bit like this. See how we're doing that? And you're gonna do that to both sides, like that. But then even like here, see how we put those two pieces of clay up the front? Just kind of tap them in, work them in a little more. Like that. And work the front a little bit, top. See how that texture's coming out? And even around the eyes, what you want to do too is take our little tool and kind of rough it up a little bit, make some little lines around there to give it a little more texture. Just go around like that. And do that. And then even underneath the jaw here too, we want to use that tin foil. So you're going to go like that. Just hang on to it, tap it lightly. And you're going to go do that. And then what I'm also going to do, where I have the tin foil, I'm going to make some holes under here. So when I fire it, it's not going to crack. So I put those holes there like that. And then what we also want to do is we have some more wire here. So just going to find out where the end part of this is. Oh, I see it, okay. This will help this to stay attached. So I'm going to take a piece of wire here, cut this, and what I'm going to do is we're going to put this, let me see. So I'm going to put this kind of in there like that. See, I'll push that in like that. And then I'm going to push this down and see if we can attach that like that. See that? And then what we also want to do is go around with little pieces of clay to make sure it's firmly attached. You're going to take that and put little pieces of clay, go all the way around where the water touches with the whale. And then, yeah, it's really starting to come along nicely. So when you've done all that work, when you've done all the things with the tin foil, I'll show you what the final version of the Livyatan Prehistoric Whale will look like. Once you've completed that, now this has been fired and everything, see how you have the really nice texture with the tin foil? And see how those two pieces of clay that I put here? See, you get the nice eye, how it's built out a little bit. You got that really nice texture, and see how you got the, it almost looked like bones sticking out. Remember we took the little tool and went like that? Gives it a really nice texture, but I just want to show you how this is looking right now. So we got that, and I just kind of want to give you a top view. See how we got like the blowhole here? And then this is the view from the front. I think it's really cool because you get to see all the teeth. Kind of rotate that a little bit. And this is what your version of the whale will look like before it's painted. I do want to thank you for coming to the show Creations in Clay today, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.